The Last Flight into Silence, the unsolved mystery of Amelia Earhart, a sky full of questions. On a warm July morning in 1937, America held its breath as radio signals grew weaker and the Pacific Ocean swallowed static. A nation waited for a voice that never returned. That voice belonged to Amelia Earhart, an aviator so fearless that even the sky often seemed too small for her ambition. Her disappearance remains one of the greatest mysteries in American history, a puzzle built from fragments of hope, rumor, and silence. A dream born in the open fields of Kansas. Amelia wasn't born in a cockpit. She was born in a wide, windswept Kansas landscape where adventure lived in imagination. As a child, she collected newspaper clippings about women who defied the world. She believed ordinary people could do extraordinary things if they had courage, curiosity, and a little bit of stubbornness. Her first encounter with an airplane wasn't glamorous. It was small, old, and unimpressive. No engine roar, no bright paint, nothing magical. Yet something inside her whispered that she belonged in the sky. That whisper grew louder over the years until it became a mission. To fly not just for herself, but for every girl who had been told you can't. Becoming America's flying legend. In the 1920s and 30s, aviation was still young, dangerous, unpredictable, and filled with risks. But Amelia stepped into that world with a determination that reshaped American culture. She became the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic. Newspapers called her Lady Lindy, but Amelia never liked the comparison. She wanted to be herself, not a shadow of a man, not a symbol, but a pilot who earned her respect through skill and endurance. She flew through fierce winds, freezing cabins, and long hours of isolation. Each flight wasn't just a record, it was a message to her country. Courage is a choice, not a gift. The final mission. Amelia's greatest goal was to circle the world. The flight would cross 29,000 miles of oceans, jungles, and storm zones. Her aircraft, the Lockheed Electra 10E, gleamed like a silver bullet chasing history. With navigator Fred Noonan beside her, she took off from Miami, then flew across South America, Africa, India, and Southeast Asia. Every stop added a new chapter to her legend. She was so close, only the vast Pacific remained. When she reached Lae, Papua New Guinea, the journey had become more dangerous. Weather conditions were worsening. Radio communication was inconsistent. Her fuel margins were shrinking. Yet she remained calm. She wrote in her journal that she hoped the next flight would be smooth and uneventful. It would be anything but that. Into the heart of the Pacific. Their next destination was a tiny island, Howland Island, barely visible on a map. The U.S. Coast Guard positioned a ship called Itasca nearby to guide her with radio signals. But something went wrong. Her messages became increasingly desperate. We must be on you, but cannot see you. We are running north and south. The last voice transmission was strained, fading, and filled with static. And then came the silence. A silence so heavy that it still echoes today. The Itasca never saw the plane. Search ships scoured the sea. Planes flew thousands of miles. But Amelia's Electra vanished as if the ocean had swallowed it whole. Theories that refused to die. America couldn't accept the disappearance, and so began decades of speculation. Some believed the plane crashed into the Pacific and sank to a depth no human could reach. Others insisted Amelia landed on an uninhabited island, surviving for days or weeks, leaving behind faint traces, footprints, scraps of tools, and fragments of a campfire. A few even proposed she was captured by Japanese forces before World War II, a prisoner hidden away from the world. These theories fascinated generations, fueling documentaries, books, investigations, and miles of headlines. Yet none provided an answer strong enough to silence the debate. The truth remained suspended between possibility and myth. Why the mystery still matters to America? Amelia Earhart is not remembered because she vanished. She is remembered because she lived with purpose. She symbolized the American spirit of exploration, the belief that progress comes from facing the unknown. Her story teaches that history is built not only by victories, but also by unanswered questions. Sometimes the unsolved stories push us to look deeper, to innovate, to understand what we still don't know. Even today, researchers send sonar, drones, and deep-sea robots to search for her plane. Each new expedition carries a quiet hope that somewhere beneath the waves lies a piece of history waiting to be found. The legacy that refuses to disappear. Amelia once said, "Adventure is worthwhile in itself." Perhaps that is why her story endures. It is not just a missing aircraft, it's about the human desire to push limits. Her courage shaped the path for modern female aviators, astronauts, explorers, and anyone who dreams big enough to get lost in the pursuit. Maybe someday the ocean will reveal its secret, or perhaps the mystery is meant to remain unsolved. A reminder that not all stories end neatly and not all heroes return home. But one thing is certain, Amelia Earhart never truly vanished. She lives on in America's imagination, an eternal symbol of bravery written across the sky she loved.